I'm Katie Couric. Tonight, my exclusive interview with President Bush on the day he announces that the most notorious terror suspects have been moved from secret prisons to Guantanamo Bay. And now he wants a new law so they can be put on trial. Is this a tacit acknowledgement at all, Mr. President, that the way these detainees were handled early on was wrong?
No, it's not at all.
The president says this nerve center in the war on terror is a new and powerful weapon. David Martin takes us inside a place so secret, we can't tell you where it is. And he may look like an ordinary kid doing ordinary things, but the way he does them is a sight to behold.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Hi, everyone. Well, it was one of the worst kept secrets in the world, and today President Bush confirmed it. In a major speech about the war on terror, the president, for the first time, acknowledged the existence of secret CIA prisons around the world. He said 14 terror suspects held in them have been moved to Guantanamo, and he's asking Congress to pass a new law so those prisoners can be tried by special military tribunals. I sat down with the president today for an exclusive interview at the White House and asked him why he decided to move some of the most dangerous terrorists in the world to the prison at Guantanamo.
The reason why we're moving them there is because we want them to go through a military tribunal. We want them to receive the justice that they denied other people. But the other thing is that we got to make sure that we have the capacity to interrogate, not torture, but interrogate people to learn information.
And the president says that information already obtained from interrogating terror suspects has protected the country from attack. Can you give us any indication about what kind of information you were able to glean from these quote-unquote high-value targets?
Right. Well, for example, we uncovered a potential anthrax attack on the United States. Or the fact that Couric Sheikh Mohammed had got somebody to line up people to fly airlines, to crash airlines on, I think, the West Coast or somewhere in America, and these would be Southeast Asians. This is pretty rich data that has been declassified so that I'm capable of telling the American people the importance of the interrogation program. And I'm going to call upon Congress to make sure that our interrogators have the capacity to do so without breaking the law. See, we're not interrogating now because CIA officials feel like the rules are so vague that they cannot interrogate without being tried as war criminals, and that's irresponsible.
Is this a tacit acknowledgement at all, Mr. President, that the way these detainees were handled early on was wrong?
No, it's not at all. It's a tacit acknowledgement that we're doing smart things to get information to protect the American people. I've said to people, we don't torture, and we don't.
So who are these 14 terror suspects? What are they accused of, and how did the transfer take place? Jim Stewart has details now on all of that.
The former al-Qaeda bosses were secretly flown to Guantanamo on Labor Day and immediately placed in cells segregated from the rest of the terrorist inmates. The 14 include the brain trust of the 9/11 plot, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the man who picked the pilots and targets, Ramzi bin al-Shibh, the contact who paid them, and Abu Zubaydah, the equivalent of admissions director for al-Qaeda's training camps. The group is also responsible for the twin attacks on the U.S. embassies in Africa in 1998 and the suicide boat attack on the USS Cole in 2000.
These are dangerous men with unparalleled knowledge about terrorist networks and their plans of new attacks.
The plan now is that rather than be held with no legal rights, the al-Qaeda leaders would eventually face trial in Guantanamo before military commissions the president has asked Congress to approve. It was an abrupt change in strategy by the White House and appears to be an admission that these captives may have already told all they have to tell. At secret CIA detention sites, the president said the men provided key details on that al-Qaeda plot to use anthrax to attack the U.S., a plot to fly suicide planes into buildings on the West Coast, as well as al-Qaeda travel routes and safe havens.
Together, this intelligence has helped us connect the dots and stop attacks before they occur.
And in the event other al-Qaeda leaders like Osama bin Laden are captured, the president said he would ask Congress permission to keep those secret prisons open. Now that they're in military custody, the prisoners are subject to the Army's rules on interrogations. Dogs can't be used to scare them, no hoods can be placed over their heads, and no shock treatments. But they can undergo, in the words of the Army's new manual, rapid-fire questioning. Katie?
Jim Stewart, thank you. For more perspective on this, we turn now to Bob Schieffer, our chief Washington correspondent. Hi, Bob.
Hey, how are you, Katie?
Fine, thank you. I know, Bob, you believe this is a major change in policy for the Bush administration, but the president has gone about this quite artfully. How so?
Well, he was very deft in how he did this, Katie, and there's no question about it. The president stressed the benefits from this program. He talked about how much information they'd gotten from these people. He said that the CIA had never tortured any of these people. He never used the term prison. This is a real change for the administration.
Why now is the Bush administration going to Congress, Bob, for interrogation and prosecution of these detainees?
Well, basically, Katie, they had no choice. The Supreme Court told them that they had to bring these people into some kind of system of justice, and they had to do it under rules set down by the Congress.
And do you think Congress will accommodate him?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it. This will give Congress something to do, and they'll have an excuse not to act on things like working on the deficit and immigration problems, all those controversial things that they'd really rather not handle as we come into this election.
Bob Schieffer in Washington. Bob, thanks so much. Great to see you.
Thank you, Katie.
As President Bush appeals to Congress and the American people to support him in the global war on terror, he insists it cannot be won without succeeding in Iraq. We talked a lot about that at the White House today. You have said we can't cut and run on more than one occasion. We have to stay until we win. Otherwise, we'll be fighting the terrorists here at home on our own streets. So what do you mean exactly by that, Mr. President?
Well, I mean that a defeat in Iraq will embolden the enemy and will provide the enemy more opportunity to train, plan, to attack us. That's what I mean. One of the hardest parts of my job is to connect Iraq to the war on terror. I believe it, but the American people have got to understand that a defeat in Iraq, in other words, if this government there fails, the terrorists will be emboldened, the radicals will topple moderate governments, and I truly believe this is the ideological struggle of the 21st century, and the consequences for not achieving success are dire.
You have said, Mr. President, that America is safer, but we are not yet safe.
Right.
When you think about the threats out there, what is your biggest fear?
Well, my biggest fear is that somebody will come in, slip in this country and kill Americans. And I can't tell you how. You know, one way to look at it is we have to be right 100% of the time in order to protect this country, and they got to be right once.
You can see much more of my interview with President Bush on our CBS News 9/11 special, 5 Years, How Safe Are We? Tonight at 10, 9 Central. In tonight's CBS News briefing, General Motors, fighting off ever stronger competition from rivals like Honda and Toyota, is looking to win back customers by upgrading the warranty on its cars and trucks. GM is increasing the warranty on all passenger vehicles from 3 years or 36,000 miles to 5 years, 100,000 miles, whichever comes first, of course. NASA put off launching the shuttle Atlantis again today. The problem isn't weather this time, but a glitch with an onboard power cell. They may not be able to fix it in time for a launch this week. For the very latest on the shuttle and other news as well, go to our website at cbsnews.com. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, a first ever look inside the high-tech nerve center for America's war on terror.
Does a promise come with an expiration date? Is it good for a month, a year, or decades from now? At New York Life, we make promises that have no expiration date. Promises that are built on the timeless values of financial strength, integrity, and humanity. Promises that we live by. So no matter how the world changes around you, New York Life is the company you keep.
All of us have internal plumbing. But for some of us with frequent bladder urges, doing errands also means knowing where all the bathrooms are along the way. The worry your pipes might leak means you don't always detour from your route. But you can take another direction. Talk to your doctor about how to take care with Vesicare. Vesicare, once a day, can reduce urges and may help effectively manage bladder leakage, day and night. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take Vesicare. While taking Vesicare, if you experience a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days, tell your doctor right away. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and indigestion. A chance to follow a whim, not always your urges. It's not just a pipe dream. Ask your doctor today if Vesicare is right for you.
Here's a tip for denture grip. Try all the Polygrip.
Polygrip's unique ooze control tip spreads evenly for 16-hour hold and a food-tight seal.
Try the tip for all day grip. Try Polygrip.
Maud, cows are out.
I found it.
Things are easier to find when they're stuck together. New Gladware interlocking lids lock together so you always know where they are. For lids that are easy to find, get Glad.
Now, the Hall of Fame eye drop. New Clear Eyes, triple action relief. It gets redness, dryness, irritation out. A triple play. Wow, new triple action relief. 3-way relief from Clear Eyes.
In our interview earlier today, President Bush told me the government is doing a much better job of coordinating intelligence than it did before 9/11. And he singled out the new National Counterterrorism Center as an example. Tonight, we're able to give you an exclusive look inside that top secret facility where high-tech spying meets old-fashioned detective work. David Martin has the first in a series of reports we're calling 9/11, 5 years.
5 years ago, a counterterrorism center like this, with top intelligence officers in constant contact with one another, existed only on TV.
We're looking at a nuclear holocaust.
In the hit series 24, which debuted shortly after 9/11. But today, there is a real-life National Counterterrorism Center. We've agreed not to give away its exact location in return for unprecedented access. This top-secret facility was set up specifically to overcome rivalries between intelligence agencies like the CIA and FBI, which failed to share vital clues about the al-Qaeda plot to attack America on 9/11.
This is the nerve center of the war against terror. It's a 24/7 operations center where all the intelligence collected by 18 different agencies is supposed to come together.
Barely a year old, it's run not by Jack Bauer, but by retired Navy Admiral Scott Redd.
All counterterrorism intelligence comes into this center. We see the most sensitive stuff.
This binder holds one of the most sensitive documents in the entire government. It's a threat matrix, a daily status report on every potential terrorist plot against the U.S. On any given day, there are 30 to 40.
A large percentage of them, probably well over 90%, turn out to be nothing.
But that still means that on any given day, there are some real terrorist plots.
This is a dangerous and a determined enemy. They're persistent and they're not stupid.
The heavy lifting of figuring out where they might strike next goes on upstairs, where Andy Liepman oversees 200 analysts.
And what we're in right now is the al-Qaeda department.
Liepman is from the CIA, but his analysts come from almost any agency.
It's probably the only place in the intelligence community where you'll find a CIA analyst, an FBI analyst, a DHS analyst, and a DIA analyst, all sitting together.
That may sound unremarkable to you, but it took a bureaucratic battle royale to make it happen.
I think a lot of people hoped it was going to fail.
Former CIA officer John Brennan set up the Counterterrorism Center.
Sometimes if I told CIA that I wanted to have someone from the Department of Homeland Security have access to their sensitive operational cable traffic, I would be met with looks of disbelief.
Did the bureaucratic battles detract from your ability to track the terrorists?
There were times that we were expending energy on fighting those bureaucratic battles that should have been, in fact, directed toward the terrorism threat threat.
Despite all the hard work in the 5 years since 9/11, the Counterterrorism Center is still not fully manned. Do you have enough analysts to cover all of the al-Qaeda offshoots that there are out there?
The answer is no, I don't have enough.
Are you going to get more?
I should be gradually increasing the size until probably a year and a half or so from now when we'll be at full strength.
And he's going to need every one of them, because each day the National Counterterrorism Center adds literally thousands of names to its list of suspected terrorists, which already numbers 400,000. David Martin, CBS News at the National Counterterrorism Center.
If you'd like to learn more about this state-of-the-art counterterrorism center and how it works, go to cbsnews.com and click on FYI. Coming up next, free speech, illegal immigration, when providing for your children means leaving them behind.
Now Promise Buttery Spread helps maintain a healthy heart when eaten instead of butter or margarine. And now it's rich with heart health essentials like omega-3, and it's less in saturated fat. Plus, there's no trans fat and lots of creamy, buttery taste. In fact, it's our healthiest and tastiest buttery spread yet. No wonder hearts are beating louder. Promise Buttery Spread, taking your health to heart.
A lot of people have trouble sleeping. But they don't all have the same trouble. Some can't turn off and stay awake for hours. Others turn off right away but wake up again later. Many people have both problems. That's why people are asking their doctors for controlled release formula Ambien CR, the latest Ambien. It's the only one with 2 layers that work differently. One dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep fast. The other dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Ambien CR is a treatment option you and your doctor can consider along with lifestyle changes and can be taken for as long as your doctor recommends. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic. However, like most sleep medicines, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. A good night's sleep shouldn't be an on-off thing. Falling asleep and staying asleep can make a big difference. So ask your doctor about controlled release formula Ambien CR. Remember, CR.
What are you doing?
Getting ready for my test.
What subject?
Cholesterol.
Are you nervous?
Well, last time I didn't do so great, but I'm getting extra help.
Cheerios, proven to lower cholesterol about 4% in 6 weeks. How much can you lower yours?
Isn't there a meter that lets me test my blood sugar and be on my way?
With no coding and a small sample size, the Contour meter from Bayer means testing will fit into your life instead of interrupting it.
Don't I have enough to think about?
Easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
Subterranean termites cause billions of dollars in damage every year. Many companies only treat here, leaving the majority of your property unprotected. Truly Nolan's 3-zone protection plan provides the most technically advanced termite treatment. Zone 1 treats breaches in the interior. Zone 2 protects the entire foundation. Zone 3 covers additional areas conducive to termites. And this mouse backs it up with a million reasons. Only with Truly Nolan's 3-zone protection plan.
Senate Majority Leader Bill Frist said today Congress is not likely to act this year on immigration reform, but that's probably not going to stop thousands of people from showing up on the Mall in Washington tomorrow for a demonstration in favor of amnesty for millions of illegal immigrants. Tonight in our new free speech segment, where we invite a variety of Americans to give their 2 cents on issues they care about, the focus is on mothers who come here illegally and the children they leave behind. The speaker is Sonia Nazario, a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter from the Los Angeles Times.
If we are going to start to solve our immigration problem and stay true to family values, we need to understand the plight of hundreds of thousands of mothers now in the U.S. and the children they felt forced to leave behind in Central America. It's a humanitarian crisis. What you probably don't realize is that each year, tens of thousands of these immigrants make a perilous journey, clinging to the tops of freight trains to reach the U.S. border. Some of them are women, single moms, so desperate to feed their hungry children that they take them to garbage dumps to search for food. Many ultimately make a heart-rending choice. They leave their children behind with a grandparent and they head north, promising to return in 2 years max. But once here, they struggle in low-paying jobs. What little they have, they send to their kids. but they can't save enough to return home or to pay smugglers to get their children here. Many children feel abandoned and resent, even hate their mothers for leaving them. The mothers often lose what's most important, the love of their child. Everyone favors a more secure border, but that won't keep desperate mothers out of our country or keep them and their children from trying to reunite. Walls will never stop them. What we need to do is find ways to help Central American countries create more jobs so these women never have to leave their children. That's the only way we will slow a modern-day exodus that's destroying families and taxing America.
Tomorrow, radio talk show host Rush Limbaugh, who has never been shy about speaking his mind. In tonight's Snapshots, it looks like Oscar the Grouch will be extra grouchy for a while. He and the other Muppets will be stuck in a dark closet at the Smithsonian for the next couple of years because the National Museum of American History will be closed for major renovations. Thousands of exhibits, including Archie Bunker's chair, are being moved to protect them from all the dust and heavy equipment. C-3PO and R2-D2 lucked out, though. Their temporary home is the Air and Space Museum. And we're always telling our kids not to eat with their fingers, but in Rome, Georgia, students starting the new school year are using their fingers to pay for lunch. A quick scan of their fingerprints takes the place of lunch money. Unfortunately, they haven't come up with a substitute for mystery meat. And coming up next, a lot of high school kids are into clicks these days, but this young man is into clicks in a whole different way.
Two dogs. One has Frontline Plus flea protection. The other has the number 2 product. Over half the dogs treated with the number 2 product had fleas after just 1 week. The Frontline dogs, not one flea. Frontline kills fleas fast all month, and it doesn't just last longer, it's waterproof. For dogs and cats, ask for the vet's number 1 choice, Frontline Plus. Say goodbye to fleas and ticks.
Tonight's the night to switch to Polident overnight.
Unlike Efferdent, Polident has a unique overnight formula. It deep cleans all night long.
Switch tonight to Polident overnight.
If you think getting a full serving of fruits and a full serving of vegetables into a single juice is amazing, wait until you taste it. New Strawberry Banana V-Fusion Juice from V8. Don't just live, thrive.
Why wait? Why wait? Osteoporosis. Easy to ignore, but it could be there, even if you don't look, feel, or act your age. Fortunately, you can do something about it. Bone loss can be reversed. Fosamax is a hormone-free tablet for postmenopausal women at risk for or with osteoporosis. In 10 years of clinical research, Fosamax has been proven to help reverse bone loss. And Fosamax helps prevent fractures of both the hip and spine. You should not use Fosamax if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are not able to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease, or low blood calcium. Before use, talk to your doctor if you have stomach or digestive problems. Stop taking Fosamax and call your doctor right away if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
I'm not putting it off a minute longer.
Talk to your doctor about Fosamax, because bone loss can be reversed.
Smart Balance Buttery Spread cooks like butter, spreads like butter, and tastes like butter without the cholesterol and high saturated fat, with no hydrogenated oil and no trans fat naturally, not artificially as some spreads. Smart Balance has the right balance of fats to help improve cholesterol as part of the Smart Balance food plan, with award-winning taste endorsed by professional chefs. Smart Balance. You're going to love that buttery taste.
A Young Valley mother defends her husband who's accused of killing their newborn baby. CBS 5 News is next.
What's on Rush Limbaugh's mind these days? He'll tell you tomorrow on Free Speech, an important new part of the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric. See it now.
I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles.
I really think this next story is going to knock your socks off. It's about a young man from Northern California who really gets around. You may have to see it to believe it, but he doesn't. Here's John Blackstone.
At Sheldon High in Sacramento, 14-year-old Ben Underwood is a freshman like all the rest. Well, not exactly. In his first week, many here haven't guessed that Ben has a secret.
Hey, good.
And you probably couldn't figure it out watching him in combat at karate class or hitting his mark in a pillow fight.
Yeah, punk.
Or zipping down the street on his rollerblades.
Did you get?
Since this is the first lecture that we've had.
Back in class, though, you'll notice that Ben takes his notes in Braille.
If I were to write out on the overhead.
He is totally blind. His piercing brown eyes are made of plastic. How old were you when you lost your eyes?
I was 2 years old, 2 weeks before my 3rd birthday.
Ben had cancer in both eyes, but he discovered a way to beat his blindness.
I started clicking. I was like first, I was like 6 years old.
He realized the clicking sound he made with his tongue bounced off things around him, giving him an idea what was there. Was it like seeing again?
Pretty much, yeah.
Taking a walk with Ben, I was amazed at what he can see with his ears.
Well, there's a fire hydrant on the side and a car on this side. Wait, no, that's a trash can or that? Hold on, let me see. That's a trash can? Yeah, that's a trash can. Or a recycling bin, one of those.
Yeah. Ben has much the same talent as the dolphins he visited at SeaWorld, the ability to use echolocation, returning sound waves, to sense his surroundings. His clicks even told him to step around a fallen trash bin.
I don't know how you do that.
But the secret to Ben's success goes beyond his clicks. Your mother doesn't give you any breaks because you're blind, does she?
Nah.
Why should he get a break? I can't get a break.
His mother, Aquanetta Gordon, insists he should have every opportunity, but no pity. But he's blind.
No, he's not. I mean, you know, to society he's blind, but that doesn't make him handicapped. He just can't see.
Aquanetta has always told Ben he can do anything.
Once he said to me, he says, Mom, man, I wish I could see. And then I said, well, Ben, but look what you can do. I said, if we had a blackout right now, everybody have to follow you.
Hey, Ben, why you on film, dog?
Ben admits that in his first few days at high school, he got lost a couple of times. But he says so did every other freshman. The more Ben manages to be ordinary, the more it's clear he is extraordinary. John Blackstone, CBS News, Sacramento.
I just love that story. And finally, when I mentioned last night that I'd like your ideas about how to sign off the broadcast, I had no idea that more than 20,000 of you would go to our website and take me up on it. Well, it's been a really busy day. I was in Washington for most of it, so I haven't had time to go through your suggestions, but I will, and we'll be sharing the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. That is the CBS Evening News for tonight. By the way, I hope you'll join me for our 9/11 special, 5 years, How Safe Are We? Tonight at 10, 9 Central. Till then, I'm Katie Couric in New York. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Sponsored in part by Walmart. It's rollback season, and we've rolled back the price on 10,000 of your favorite items. Stop in today and save big.